What is your nervous system trying to tell you? This is a really profound question, and if you can find the answer from within to this question, you have come a really far way on your healing journey. Your nervous system is the tool that is telling you how well you feel. If you're completely stressed all the time and you have different symptoms, it's probably because your nervous system is just running on overdrive all the time. And the underlying cause for this most probably is that our society is built up in a way that there is like endless stimulation, and it's like we are so overstimulated, we are just like so wired up that it's really difficult to relax. And most of the times, for us to heal and for us to create breakthroughs in our body and in our mind, we need to calm down our nervous system. And when you think about the nervous system from an evolutionary standpoint, its main purpose has been to keep us alive. But we are not living in the woods anymore. We're not afraid of tigers and running away from all these predators. We, most of us at least, live in some kind of apartment, and we are relatively safe. Yes, there are all kinds of dangers and crazy people and whatever, but we are relatively safe. But we have surrounded us with all these things, these stimulating devices. Our media is filled with negativity. Our movies and our entertainment, it's a lot of horror and crime, and of course we are overstimulated. So the point with this video is that if you feel that you are somehow wired up too much and you just like you're all the time tense, you need to start looking at what triggers your nervous system to act in that way. I know for a fact that I'm not capable of the same pace as everyone else in this world. There are people who can just go on and on and on. I used to be a chef when I was like from 15 to 20. I soon realized that's not for me. I was just so overwhelmed and burned out by the pace and the amount of work I needed to do that I realized that that's not gonna be for me. And it's the same with like this creative industry and all kinds of work that is kind of this mission based, that you have to do a certain amount of things or you have to reach a certain deadline. It can be really fun, it can be really rewarding, but what's the price? And I don't say that you can't do these things. I say that if you are a sensitive person, if you are someone who gets easily drained, but you still love to do this kind of mission work, you need to balance it. You need at least as much rest and kind of downtime compared to the work you do. Because if you think about it, let's say you're a cashier in a store, or you're just a regular office worker. You work 8 hours and that's it. And it's not physically too heavy and it's not that stressful. But then when you take a video production, it's intense. There's like these schedules, there's so many moving pieces. Or a kitchen, a restaurant, it's like it's so much going on and the intensity is so different. And this is where I think society has kind of gone a little bit astray, because we don't look at work intensity as much. And I strongly believe that if you are someone who is capable of these intensive work and you feel that it gives you a sense of purpose and fulfillment, that's totally fine. You just need to learn to balance it out. It's greed, and it's this story that pushes us to keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, I'll rest after this project. I'll rest when I reach this goal or something like that. It's not healthy. And no wonder there's so many autoimmune diseases. There is so many like new diseases coming up that is related to nervous systems, that it's our body's way to say that, hey, you need to stop. You need to relax. You need to chill. And this also goes back to when we were like hunter-gatherers. It's not that people were hunting every day. It was like these intense hunting periods, and then there were rest. It's the same with sowing some crop, like farming. You do the intensive work, and then you let the crops grow, and then you harvest. But it's not like every day you need to push, you need to do. This hustle culture is just destroying us. And the symptoms are a sign that we need to change. And the more people that start to actually speak up about this, and they start to realize like, wow, I'm so burnt out, but I'm afraid to even talk about it because I think this is normal. I need to be capable, and if I'm not capable of doing this insane work hours and this insane intensity, I'm not well enough. And then your whole identity starts to crumble and your self-worth starts to crumble, and it's just this like really vicious loop that just takes you downhill. That's not what we want, right? So it's like this work hard, play hard. That's like the mentality of the hustle culture. But I think it's like work hard, rest harder. That's like the real way how to achieve things. And it's when I was studying like productivity and flow states and these, when I went really deep into that area, the number one thing of all high achievers that actually stay on top for a long period of time, they prioritize rest and recovery. And rest and recovery isn't necessarily just watching TV and drinking beer. That's not the point. Rest and recovery can be meditating, journaling, cold exposure, just different forms of physical therapy, massages. That's what actually will give you something to restore your body. Because if your nervous system is constantly on overdrive, and then you feel depressed when you finally stop for a minute, but your body is so used to going that it starts to crave adrenaline. And this is when you think that, oh, it's just a lack of, I haven't done enough. And it's like, wow, and suddenly you burn out. There is this moment of no return, and then you finally have to let go. And in some cases, people take it to such extremes that they have to stop doing what they actually love doing, but they just did too much of it. It's like candy. It's like whatever it is, alcohol, drugs, food, porn, whatever it is. Too much is the problem, not the thing itself. So ask yourself, what is draining my nervous system and what is restoring my nervous system? Because that's gonna actually balance you out. And when you learn to balance out your nervous system, when you actually start to feel again, you start to get attuned with your emotions, you start to realize the patterns, what drove you there, and what was the underlying core why you even started to run and do that, and the story you tell in your head, everything will change. Your relationships will change, your health will change, your ways of doing will change, and the most important, your story inside of your head about yourself will change. But the first step you need to realize is that you need to stop. You just need to stop. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to actually stop, where you can start feeling how your nervous system is kind of regaining its normal state, is meditation. And for that, I just created a guided meditation that is specifically intended to reset your nervous system. You can watch that meditation here.